Hi, this is Rosanna Pfeifer, and this is the Actorshpere podcast.
Boom! Nailed it. Nailed it.
I'm like, I'm going to do it this time.
So, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, good. Here we go. Rosanna Pfeifer, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad to be here.
I'm glad that you are here. Thank you for wanting to come on the Actorshpere podcast. And and if you notice, we have a brand new backdrop right behind you.
Very fancy.
And so fancy.
Love those guys.
Yeah. It's got Casting Buffalo on there. It's got Elmwood Village Entertainment, which is me. And it's got Bison Insurance, which is my friend Tony. And he he did that whole thing. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I told him, now we need one behind me. Yeah. And he said, well, just, let's pump the brakes here, all right?
Like,
I'll buy you one. But, no, he's great. So before we, we talked about a lot, actually, before we started recording. I mean, you were always on my radar. I think, we were at different events at the same time, but never really
probably a ton of events,
cross paths, to meet in person.
Yeah.
But I always knew of you and just kind of watched you grow and succeed and get to the level that you're at right now, and always silently rooting for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Very kind.
Yeah. And then I just saw recently that I'm just going to dive right into it.
Oh boy.
That you scored a Playboy magazine layout, right? Help explain that to me.
That I did.
Yeah, how awesome.
Thank you.
It's huge.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm still kind of processing it. It's like one of those things that, I don't know, you just don't ever think it's gonna happen, or it's like just kind of feels like out of reach, a lot of things. But there's a point in time, this past year, I just started traveling a lot for photo shoots, different kinds of gigs, and there's this charity that I was going out to LA for, charity where they host events and they have hostesses, just go, and it's always for good causes. And so my second last trip in July, I had planned a bunch of shoots, with people I looked up to, and just so happened one of those people was Arthur St. John. And I noticed that he shot for FHM, for Maxim, for Playboy. I'm like, you know what? This is a huge shot in the dark, but what the heck? Let's just go for it. You know what I mean? And I was just feeling really high on life. And I was like, the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't happen, or he says, no, I don't want to work with you, or whatever. And when I got that message back, I was like, is this really happening?
Yeah. And
at that point, I didn't even know that the publication was even in the cards. I was just like, it's just cool to go out to LA and shoot with, a very, people of that stature, with that experience, and everybody's connected in LA. It's just such a cool place. And then it was several months later that, he was like, well, do you want to get them published? And I was like, are you really asking? Yeah, right? Are you really asking this question right now? Yes. So that's kind of how that happened.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, has it been published yet, or is it going to be published? Or?
So it was published in February of this year, and it was funny because, I don't know, I just feel like it's just not what you think a shoot like that would be like. It was just so comfortable. When I met him, he was just so down to earth, and he had his daughter with him, and she was taking all the BTS, and we were on a beach in Malibu, and I'd never been to Malibu before. And it was just beautiful backdrops, and it was a great experience. And I was very comfortable. It was like nothing weird. I was like, listen, I'm a healthcare professional. Like, I got to keep it like classy.
Sure.
And I know that the brand over the years has kind of evolved into more of that, and they're iconic and they're classy. And I'm like, so yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was really a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a few things that you said in there. One is, just going for it and asking and not being afraid of getting turned down.
Rejection.
Exactly.
I feel like in our fields, like being creative, you have to like build that tough outer layer to go through all the rejection to get the yeses, like get those opportunities. Like you're not going to get them without all of that rejection.
Yeah.
And that was really a tough thing for me to overcome. But as soon as I realized that I was holding myself back from not going for these things, it was just like no stopping myself from there. I was like, just do it, Like the worst thing that happens is this person doesn't recognize your potential, or this person says no, but it's going to lead you closer to the yeses.
Yeah. And I love the way that you worded that, because you said the worst thing that could happen is they don't realize your potential, because that means that you still know your worth and your value.
Right.
It's not that they view you a certain way. Yeah. That's great. What a great message.
Yeah. It took a long time to get to that point, but just film and modeling in general, it just really helped me grow as a person.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's a ton of rejection in our fields.
Oh my goodness. So much.
So much. Yeah. That, the more seasoned you get, like myself, the more it doesn't sting as much.
It doesn't. It's like part of the process. Like I remember at one point I told myself, whether this is true most of the time or not, I'm like, hey, you didn't have the look. It's just they already had something in their head of what they were looking for, and you're just not that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be that for something else and then another thing, but you can't be what everyone is thinking all the time.
Exactly.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
We're all different and unique.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's always that voice that I get in my head that, kind of creeps in and gives me a little bit of the doubt, but I've recognized that voice and what it is and what it does, and it doesn't serve me. So I know that it needs to shut the fuck up.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a balance sometimes. Like it's good to be like humble, but also like confident, and it's not bad to have confidence. And for some people it takes a little bit to get there. Like for me, that was like a long process to get to a point where I did realize my potential and my worth and all of those things. And I guess it's just good to be balanced and
yeah. Of course. Yeah. And that's important too, because it does seem to take quite a while. I think remembering back, I went through a lot of heartbreak early on with the rejection. And it's just something I think that you have to go through and experience in order to get to the higher level that you want to get to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And speaking of experienced photographers, you brought one with you today.
I did. I brought a very special photographer today.
And I love his work. Most of his work that he posts is of you.
Naturally, yeah.
And
we work together a lot.
Yeah. Can we bring him in here?
Yeah, why not?
Sean, are you there? Yeah, there he is. Yep. Okay. Now it's tight in here, so you'll
tight.
have to.
Do you want us to maneuver?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your spot. Okay.
Oh, did you want me to move?
This will work.
I like my spot.
Yeah.
I'm comfy. I got comfy.
Good.
Cozy.
Stay comfortable. I'm all right.
You warmed your spot up, right?
It's all warmed up now.
Exactly.
That's why I wanted it.
Good. Yeah. The Actorshpere podcast is brought to you by Bison Insurance. Do you have insurance? Everyone has to have insurance, right? Once you start adulting. I had insurance, and I did it all myself. I went online and thought it was easy. Just typed in all my information, got a quote, paid everything online, didn't talk to anyone. But then I was referred to Anthony at Bison Insurance, and he said, "You know what, man? Let me just check out your insurance and give you a free quote and see if I can save you money." So I said, "Okay." And he came back to me with quotes on my homeowner's insurance, my car insurance, my motorcycle insurance, my everything. And he literally saved me thousands of dollars a year just by doing the work for me. It was easier than going online because all he did was make a phone call and give him some information, and he saved me thousands of dollars. I couldn't have done that on my own. So call Bison Insurance at 716-791-7475 for a free quote. Again, you can call or text 716-791-7475 at Bison Insurance, or go to insurancebison.com. Yeah, so Sean, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Say your last name for me.
Ballacchino.
Ballacchino.
I think you and I have the same issue, right?
Ballacchino.
Yeah.
I almost said. Yeah, pronouncing our last names, right?
Absolutely.
So how long have you been taking pictures?
I started during COVID. I had never even touched the camera prior to that. I had always been kind of interested in film. I had taken film classes in college.
Okay.
Worked at Blockbuster and in a movie theater for quite a while, like 7 years total. So, I wanted to try something that I always wanted to do, and I reached out to a friend that had started taking awesome pictures, and I'm like, "What are you using?" He's like, "Sony A7 III." Yeah. So that's what I bought, and just been learning ever since, just studying and watching YouTube videos, following other people. Yeah, it's been a process, but it's amazing to do.
Yeah. YouTube is the new college degree.
It really is, man.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why be $120,000 in debt with degrees when you can just...
Man.
Yeah, right?
I'm around there.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I hear you.
We ignore it. It's fine.
I know, yeah. It'll go away.
It doesn't exist.
One day.
Fine.
Yeah. If you don't think about it, it'll go away.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
100%. Good. Yeah, no, you could have fooled me. I thought that you were going to say, I've been, when I was a child, I had a film camera and, yeah.
I'm always so jealous of people that say that kind of thing, because I'm like, man, of all the stuff I could have learned in that time, or from maybe someone else that shop, but no, it was just something I wanted to do myself, and I just really, sometimes to a pain, just sat there and watched videos and made sure I was able to do things. Anytime I had to fix something, would watch a video to do that. So editing is a huge thing. Watch a lot of Photoshop stuff. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I'm so happy I did it, and I met Rosanna. So it's been like definitely
So that's
an awesome
how you guys
adventure.
met?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, okay, tell me.
Yeah.
Should we tell the full story?
You go.
Yeah.
I want to hear your
Like
version.
the whole story?
Well, we could. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Come on.
Go for it.
You want me to tell
Because
it?
you guys,
Yeah.
let me just say, the stuff you guys post is so fucking adorable that it just, I have to hear the entire full
throw up
story.
level?
Yeah.
Adorable.
Start from the beginning, but like,
I'm sure
Sometimes.
for some people, but
I'm right.
not me.
The beginning. Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
The beginning. So it was a little over a year ago, right? Like December.
Yeah.
Some guy was reaching out to me, and he was in my DMs, and he was like very kind, very
Some
well
guy
spoken.
meaning-
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just like, hey, want to
And
do
then
a
Sean
shoot?
came along and beat him up.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
It was very like kind and respectful, and like, hey, not would love to do a shoot. Not sure what your rates are. Just let me know. Like, this is where I'm at. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And should I tell like the real version?
Yeah, go
of
for it.
What I said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I
And-
pause you for a second? So
Yeah.
here's like the illusion that I always had about photographers, and I found out from a photographer friend of mine too, was how photographers trying to get like a portfolio together will pay models to be a part of that. Just like actors will pay people to create reels for them.
Right.
Yep.
It's an
And
investment.
that when I found that out, it just blew my mind, but it shouldn't have, because it happens in the acting world all the time. So, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we should touch on that again
Okay.
later, because it's very interesting about how that all works. But anyway, so then I, got back to him. I looked at his page. Oh, his work looks nice. But, I was very busy at the time. Like, I work a full-time job, like, with acting, modeling, just everything. So I'm like, didn't really know you.
I was just kind of getting started too, so my stuff was whatever. But when I saw Rosanna, I'm like, I gotta shoot. I'm like, if I shoot with her, I know this is when I know I made it.
Can you tell the story? Because you tell it better.
All right. So I reached out to her and I'm like, man, I really want to. And then she's like, I charge this amount, and I'm like, I'm struggling right now. I'm trying to do like as best I can with like working, but I'm like, I understand. Like, you deserve it. Like, your photos are amazing. So it took a little while. For actually get to shoot, but like when we finally started working together, it just kind of clicked. Like we did like a shoot for like a birthday shoot, right? Mm-hmm. Like
that
last
was our first
March.
one.
Yeah, and then
I was looking. That's what actually hooked us up, because
Yeah.
we had made the connection, and then he was like, "Well, can't really do that right now," and then we were like, "Okay, maybe later." Then months went by, and like I posted on Facebook like, looking for someone to do a birthday shoot with me and my friend, like just for fun, like last minute, whatever. And
I know
you
she
did not
posted that for me.
comment.
I knew it was meant for me. I was like, all right. And I chickened out. But then like I did a shoot with.
Oh, and then you didn't do it?
I did.
Oh,
but, like
okay.
someone else like asked me to do it, and like then I ended up going. So like.
So he had shot with my friend
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
My friend Heather. She's well known, like Heather Dunham in the film community. They had the shoot planned for a while, like just their one-on-one, building the portfolio. And then I go, Heather, why don't you ask Sean if he's free tonight? Like, it's super last minute, but I was like kind of testing, like, if he really wants to like meet me, like shoot with me, he'll do it. And he pulled through, so that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such a fun night. I was nervous as hell. I just had done like studio stuff, and I had not met Rosanna yet, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wait, why were you nervous? Because of the shoot itself, or because of
both? Both. Honestly, like, so Heather had just come over. I had just finished that, and I would just get like literally, she might have been like the 8th person I shot with total for portrait stuff like that. So then it was like I'm getting out of my element, away from the studio, having to deal with lighting that's not ideal. So I really just did like an average job at best, but it was the sweetest moment ever. Like it was such a great like first meeting and first like, I don't know, introduction to Rosanna, and like we just had such a great day that day, and then it just kind of like led to more shoots, and and then we just really got into it, and we just love creating together. Like, it's just been like such an amazing experience, and like we literally talk about all the time. Like, whenever we get a moment, even if it's not fully planned, like we posted something yesterday. It was like a bathroom kind of thing with like sunlight that was coming in. Yeah, that was just like spur of the moment. Like, let's go find some light.
You definitely are a creative as well, because you see those moments and you seize the opportunity. I've noticed with lighting and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I've always felt there was something, I never knew what it was. I went to school for music business, so my degree is in somewhat related, but I always thought music was going to be my thing. But once I got into like the whole visualizing and like seeing things and like how I see that just, I'm addicted. Yeah. Like, I'm addicted now. Like, it's a euphoric feeling. It's like, it's a trippy feeling. It's like, sometimes you don't want to do it or you're afraid to do it, but then once you get in that groove,
like the flow
of everything, it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Just like creating something out of nothing. It's like such a rush. It's just, you can't describe that feeling, I feel like, unless you've experienced it. Right,
and that's why so many of my photos are with Rosanna. Like, not only am I building a portfolio, but she's a beautiful model.
Obviously.
I mean, really, like, just so fantastic to work with too, and that was early on as well. So it's just been like, it's helping me get my chops up, get my skills, and then we have bigger plans in the future to kind of like do more stuff with other people, and whatever else comes up, we're still kind of like feeling it out. But yeah, it's an exciting time for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. Now, you mentioned your degrees in music business. Are you a musician yourself?
Not fully. I had to take piano classes in college, so I kind of miss it. We've even talked about, like, Rosanna plays violin.
Oh, cool.
And a couple other things.
Yeah, and a couple other things. And piano was my main instrument. Yeah. So I'd like to get back into that. Maybe there's some like Rosanna and Sean duets on the way.
I play drums. We could have a band.
There you go.
Love it.
We got our own band.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The Italian Stallions.
Yes.
Something like that.
Perfect.
Plus Rosanna.
Yeah.
You'll be the feature for sure.
Good. So,
yeah.
well, you said violin and others. What others?
So my original love was piano.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took lessons when I was young, and it's just a beautiful instrument. Like I always, when I listen to music, I hear all the voices and I want to play all the voices. And I feel like that's one of the only instruments, maybe there's a couple others, but where you can do multiple parts at the same time. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And then I played violin for years, like starting in like 4th grade. I did a little bit in college. I did chorus and I guess we're musical people too. I feel like it's just all things where you create.
Yeah.
And you know, you use your emotions and your feelings and your pain or whatever you have to like communicate or convey things to other people where they can relate.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's what makes creating so beautiful.
Definitely. And it's such an outlet too. You know,
Yes, definitely.
Me personally, at least, I feel that I have this stuff in me that I need to get out.
Yes.
For me to feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. To create and to, I don't know where it comes from, but
It's a good thing to have,
Yeah.
right? It definitely is something that I was trying to tap into for so long and just didn't know what it was or where to find it. But once you find that thing, you just keep trying, right? You just keep looking for what that thing is, and then like once you get it, you're like, that's it.
yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a
amazing.
muse.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
Ah,
your muse
yes, 100%.
and your Instagram handle is
Yes,
Happa
the Happa Muse or Happa. I've heard it said both ways. Did you ever hear that? And when you were living in Hawaii, did you
Happa?
ever, yeah,
Yes.
did you know what it
Because
meant?
it's like someone who is not fully like Hawaiian.
or
I guess.
Asian,
Yeah.
descent. But
Yeah.
it's originally like a Hawaiian term,
Mm-hmm.
and it was slang, and it actually originated as like kind of a derogatory term, but like nowadays it's positive and like neutral. But
Yeah.
it was like, you know, like mudblood, like, you know, half, like whatever. So yeah, I just thought it like had a catchy.
You know what they called me in
tune
Hawaii?
to it.
Can you guess? Do you know?
Howley.
Yes, thank you. Holly.
was it?
Holly.
Holly.
Mainlander, white mainlander.
Oh, okay.
Still derogatory.
Okay.
But hey.
There's all these
It's all good.
terms.
So you took that and you used that.
Yeah, because I just felt like it fit. Like, I feel like a good handle, like, a handle's important, right? It's like what people, names are good handles. Just anything that really encompasses, like, who you are and what you do. It's catchy, it's short, and I just wanted something where I'm like, okay, I'm sticking with this for forever. Because I had changed it a couple times. Wasn't really feeling it. At one point, it was the Radiant NP, which NP is nurse practitioner, but like
That's
nobody, unless you're like medical, a lot of people didn't know what that was, and it's like, what does that mean? So I'm like,
I work in
okay.
healthcare and I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Some of my
So
colleagues.
yeah, so you know what it means, and some people do, but other people are just like, okay, not really sure. So I'm like, all right, muse. That's a great word, right? It means like creative, like a creative inspiration, or you know, a source of creative inspiration. It's like, okay, that makes sense with the modeling and everything I do. And I was like, and I'm Happa. So, and I was surprised that the name wasn't already taken. Like Happa Muse was, but not the Happa Muse. So
The original. Yeah.
the OG.
Yeah. Well, Actorshpere was taken.
Oh.
So I had to do Actorshpere
really?
podcast. Yeah.
Oh man, is it an actual like?
No.
What is it? Do
It's
you know?
nothing. It's someone took it and didn't use it for
Dude,
anything.
That's exactly
right?
what happened with my
Yeah.
name. It was like Happa Muse. It was like some like artist page I hadn't posted
Yeah.
in 6 years. I'm like, come on.
Exactly. I messaged them too. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, like any chance
Can I
you want
have
to
that?
change?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I have?
No response.
Nothing. I was
Can
just
I
like, they must have asked for money or no response. Yeah.
Or they forgot their login.
Russian bots.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my goodness, Instagram. That's a whole other topic, but
Yeah, it's getting weird out there.
Yeah, right?
Right?
it's getting weird.
So how did you get into healthcare?
So I started my college journey in psychology because I always loved the mind.
Same.
Really?
Yeah. Well, music first, and then I switched to psychology.
Yeah, both subjects that I love. I just always thought the mind was very intriguing and interesting and complex. So, I kind of grew up in a strict, culturally, strict household. Both my parents, old country people, and, I'm first generation technically, or second. So, it's you got these choices of what to go to school for. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to do something healthcare, medicine, I'm going to do something with the mind because that's what interests me. And then got my 4-year degree, decided for whatever reason that I didn't want to be a counselor or whatnot, and decided to take a different route and went back for nursing because I'm I kind of want to know the whole body just in case, I want to do something else with that. I didn't want to be not pigeonholed, but restricted, limited to just one subject. So I went back for an accelerated nursing program, which was 1 year for a bachelor's. Wouldn't do it again. It was very stressful, but
Holy cow,
and then I went back for my nurse practitioner degree. And I took general adult studies for that. And, when I was really young, this is kind of a huge tangent. Sorry about that. But when I was really young, my grandpa had a stroke, and it was pretty bad. And he was, paralyzed on half of his body. And then he lived for forever after that. Usually when people have major strokes, it's they don't got much time. And he just, kept on going. And so, but it was really, it was really hard, because he was in nursing homes and this and that, and home care was hard. It was hard taking care of him. We loved him.
Yeah.
But quality of life and a lot of the places he stayed, I was 9 when this happened. I just kept seeing the quality of care that existed. And I remember at a young age being if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be one of the good ones. I wanted to help people. Obviously a lot of us have that in us where we are empathetic people. We want to help other people. So I kind of promised that to myself, promised that to my grandpa that I was going to do it and I was going to do it right. Mm-hmm. So I guess that was an inspiration for that. And I just kept going until I hit my NP. And then, I started, it's kind of a segue into how I started acting.
Okay.
If we want to go there.
From nursing to acting.
Yes.
Okay. I got to hear this.
Yeah. So... I practiced as a nurse while I went back to school. It was one of those overachievers where I just went right in. I was if I stop, I'm not going to come back. So I better just do it all.
Yeah.
And my first job, I was very selective when I was looking for my first NP job. It was in neurology. I was basically working, helping people with migraines, doing injections, Botox, numbing agents, just all kinds of different injections to treat migraines. And I also was prescribing medical marijuana. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'm okay, I think I can do that. Turns out, so I ended up miserable because just the healthcare field was not... The system was just not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I had virtually no time with really sick people. It just seemed like it was all about numbers, and I just felt like I couldn't do what I had intended to do with my life. So that was very heartbreaking. And that was in 2019. I decided I was not there very long. We're talking months, and my soul, I was basically I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't. It was hard to get out of bed every day. I was I cannot.
I've had a job like that. Yeah.
It's
and
awful.
Right
it's
away.
It's such a sinking
I had a
feeling.
teaching job like that. It was
terrible.
I loved every teaching job up to that and after that. But that one was, I would just sit in my car in the parking lot and be try to will myself to go in and start the job.
Feeling.
It's horrible.
I cried many days, before work, after. It was just hard. I was I'm not helping anybody. These people are really sick. there's no reward here. I was like, I'm out. And I just quit cold turkey. I was like, didn't have a backup. I had, bought my first house at the time. It was not the best situation. I felt like I hit not rock bottom, but close to there, because I'm like, what the hell am I going to do now? Like, I went to all this school and this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then something that I had dreamed about since I was a kid was a thing in Buffalo, New York. I was like, what? There's this whole world that exists here? Like, I thought you had to be in New York City or LA. And once I discovered that, I was for acting. Yeah, that's where I started. I just went like full force. I was like applying to everything I saw, like meeting everybody I could meet, just fully immersing myself. I had a whole year, like, no job, no school. Like, I was like, I'm really going to do this. Like, I'm going to just do what I can. And it pulled me out of, I think, a major depressive, like, episode at that point, Yeah. So
doing what you love will do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it a crazy thing?
Yeah.
So, I'll never forget my first thing I ever did was a background role in a Lifetime movie. I think it was like a Chris Olin Ray movie. I think it was called Sleeping with My Student. It was like like one of those like weird Lifetime movies, and
I know them very well because I've done about 8 of them with those guys. So
it was a fun time. Like, I met a lot of my acting friends that I have now on it. Like, it was just a great experience. I was like, wow, like, I can't believe this is happening in Buffalo. Like, I didn't know. Yeah. And
not a lot of people do. Yeah.
Right. And so I just did as much as I could because I knew eventually I was going to have to get back into, my other career and be a little restricted or a lot restricted with my time. So I just did whatever I could. I was doing commercials, like film, like everything. And I fell in love.
Yeah. And that's great because that's what you should be doing, right? I mean, do everything, commercials, industrials.
Yeah. Figure out what you love and learn and grow.
Exactly. Yeah. But now it seems like so you're still using your NP degree, but you're doing something that you like a little more.
Yeah. So now, so during COVID, so it was like 2020. So it had been about a year since I don't think I had modeled yet at that point. Like, I was doing film for about a year when one of my colleagues that I went to NP school with, one day she just sent me like a listing and she's like, I feel like you'd be good at this. And I was just like, let me see, like, whatever, like, not really feeling hopeful about nursing jobs or NP jobs or like any healthcare, like, because of the horrible experience that I had. And it was like medical aesthetics, like, injector. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not very good with like blood or like, I'm not the best nurse. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I don't like all that stuff. Like, I don't get queasy, but I'm like, I don't really want to see a lot of that stuff or smell whatever. So,
I feel like I would be a good nurse after having a toddler. Yeah. Because
perhaps.
I have all of the fluids. Just like,
and you become immune
I don't care
to it
anymore.
A little bit. Like, I can have conversations with people while I'm eating, like all of that, but it's not that I like all that stuff. But anyway, so I applied and I got hired and I loved it. And I've been doing it for over 4 years now.
Awesome.
And it's very rewarding. I get time with my patients.
Benefits, probably.
Yeah. I mean, everything. I feel like I'm making a difference because, I'm increasing people's confidence and how they feel about themselves. And there's a touch of medicine in there too. Like, I do treat people's, like, we do jaw pain, we do migraine, you know what I mean? So I get like the best of both worlds. And I feel like it's the most artistic form of medicine that you can do. So of course I landed there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my only complaint is I wish I could be in 2 places at one time because I'll get that call or that email or that text like, hey, somebody wants you to do this commercial on this day. And I'm like, oh God, I can't. I need 30 days notice.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, but
that's tough. Yeah.
We'll get there. Yeah. But happy doing all the things.
That's why we call
Yeah, that's what
Sometimes.
insane because people are like, how do you act and how do you model and how do you work full time? I'm like, I don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
But
It's tough. Yeah.
But you keep going by filling your creative cup. That's what keeps you going. That's what I run
Yes.
off of. That's the fuel.
Yeah.
She inspires me too. Like I plan on doing some acting too. So I've thought about that for a long time, but now that she's doing it all the time and she's always trying to help me out and get stuff too. So maybe I'll be on.
I'm like, Sean, you got to apply to this.
I know,
You got
we'll
to do
see.
it. You're going to be good.
That might be coming though. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, but also never thought I'd be modeling. Like, that wasn't something, like, when I was a kid, I dreamed of acting. I loved performing, I loved acting, but never thought, especially at my height, like, I'm 5'2", never thought that was something I wanted to do. But film kind of, like, I fell into it because of film. And I fell in love with it, too, because of the creative process. Like, the storytelling, because there's a lot of storytelling, not just in film, but in photos and photography, right?
Well, here's my question.
Yeah.
So when you guys take photos together, who's taking the photo? Like when you're in the photo together, the ones that I've seen.
Like the selfies or like the professional ones?
He's talking
No,
about
the pro.
Katie's. Yeah.
Like with the two of you are in the photo.
Oh, like the
Yeah, I know you're not setting up an automatic timer.
No.
We did that for one. I don't know if we posted that one.
Sort of. It was like a kind of a jokey.
It's something that I saw.
Yeah.
So.
But the ones like on the beach and stuff, or just all the coupley ones, is that what we're talking about? So one of my good friends, someone I've worked with a while, and someone that Sean's going to be working with too in the near future, Katie Jane Photography, shout out to her. She is a wedding, couples, engagement, that kind of photographer, and she's amazing.
Amazing.
We love her. She's great. She's a weirdo just like us. Like, you have to be
You have to
weird
be. You
to
have
sit
to
with
be.
us. And silly, and she's just so cool. She has that vintage kind of vibe that I think that you're developing.
Yep. She's always finding amazing venues. Like, I mean, she's got
She's very
connections.
connected,
Yeah,
and
she's great at what she does too.
Such a great creative. So we've collaborated on a bunch of things. She's like, okay, guys, I have this idea. And I'm like, yes. So I always know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And so Sean's got to do a little bit of modeling himself.
Getting fancy.
Getting him to do all the things.
Yeah, it's been fun though. It's been another behind the camera. I get to experience that. That's important, I think, right? So you're always
100%.
behind the camera a lot, and like getting to be in front of it and feeling the vulnerability of it all. I kind of like it though. I don't feel nervous at all. I'm just like ready to go. I'm like, all right, let me just work on my poses a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's so important to know both sides. I
Yeah.
mean, that's an education in itself.
Totally.
I've always said that the best directors are or were actors, because they know how it feels to be in front of that
You're
camera,
more
Totally.
of
what
a
to do.
complete understanding, I
Exactly.
think, right?
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah. Wow,
So yeah,
that's so cool. Yeah.
lots of stuff.
And it's and you've come into it, like I can see, like it's almost like a weight has been lifted off of you. Like you guys are like really chill and light and happy and great energy, and
Appreciate it, man.
I love that.
Same from you too. It's great to be here. It's been awesome talking to you, and like I'm a yogi too, so I've been practicing yoga
really?
for about 8 years now. Yeah, I
Oh,
did a little
cool.
teacher training for that, but Rosanna's been doing a lot with me, so we're really trying to just like balance everything and
Wait. So
yeah.
tell me about that. How did you get into yoga?
I was living in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, of all places, and
It's huge there.
yeah, right. I'd been wanting to do it for a while, and I had maybe done 2 classes, but my neighbor, he ran the Vedic Society at the University of Alabama, so we read like, they would like do traditional dance, they would do chant, just stuff that like, they were Hare Krishnas, right? Not for me, but like the overall experience of doing all that was amazing. I got to meet a lot of amazing people, and then I got to do yoga, and I'm one of the teachers at that class on Thursday nights taught at a studio, so I got to do that, and then I just fell in love. Like that stuff, I mean, dealing with like just, like you said, depressive episode, anxiety, anything like that, yoga will fix that. Yeah, yoga will fix that. Yoga will change your life, and like that was the first time I had ever done it, and I was doing it for 3 years there, and then I moved to California and did it for 5 years there. So I got some of the best teachers I think in the country that I was training under, and it really just it's a game changer, and like
it helps you be more present.
It helps you be more present. It helps you with your overall physical and mental health, and it's like I can't recommend that enough. Anyone going through anything, like just get on the mat, go to a class, and just start from there.
Yeah. I've done yoga before, and yes,
it's great, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah.
It's you know, like anything, it's something that develops over time. Like I had a daily practice for almost 6 years straight, and it's one of those things I couldn't stop it. You know what I mean? Like if it was like my peace, that hour I had each night was just like I'm away from everything else. I'm fully present, and like it's such an amazing thing. I can go on forever about it, so I won't.
No,
but like it's such a great tool.
It also helps chronic pain, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
We're so similar, it's scary sometimes. But both Sean and I have chronic pain from different injuries. You know, at young ages. And it's just so helpful for that, for everything. And because if you know anything about chronic pain and if you experienced it, like it can be hell sometimes.
Yeah, it's debilitating.
Creating does help channel some of that, I think, for us too. But yoga definitely helps a lot. Yeah. So,
how else do you keep in shape? Because you have to keep in shape for this modeling career that you have.
Yes. Yeah. So, I do feel like there are a lot of things you can do. I feel like multiple different avenues, like tacking it from different perspectives is cool. Like, because there's power yoga, there's different kinds of yoga. But I feel like nothing can do what the gym can do sometimes. I do feel like that's a necessary supplement. I know we don't all love the gym, but you're not going to get certain things by not going to the gym. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a necessary evil. Do I think, I want to be someone who goes every single day? No, I feel like, so we both like sports too. So we were both athletes. Like I played varsity tennis. I golfed, like I did mountain biking, like trap shooting. So I feel like you shouldn't do the sport to work out. You should work out for the sport, but the sport helps. You know what I mean? Course. Like just being versatile and doing a bunch of different things.
It's like a piece of entertainment while you're working out.
Yeah.
Doing the sport, Yeah.
A little competition.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So we're excited to play tennis together for the first time, hopefully this summer. It's been a few years for me because my pain issues are very up and down. Hopefully it's on a more positive trajectory now that I'm doing, daily yoga, and we try to eat healthy. It's just like everything. Like you have to do all the things.
And you glossed over that, but that's so important.
Yeah.
Eat healthy.
Yes. Like I don't eat gluten.
Same.
I made that decision a couple years ago because I feel like I have some weird inflammation things going on, and they can't figure it out. So I'm like, okay, that's a huge culprit. Cut that out. Obviously fast food, processed foods. I feel like this is a lecture now, but you know what I mean? It's just 100% so, I'm a healthcare professional.
But it's so hard to keep away from that good stuff, like chicken wings and pizza.
It tastes so good.
I mean, we live in Buffalo.
I know.
Right.
Land of junk food
is like our staple.
Yes.
Like you go other places and you're just like, this just ain't it. Yeah. Like the food's not it. Mm-hmm. The weather's better, but not the food. So I take it's embarrassing, but I'll share my secret. I take grandma pills. Like I have a morning, afternoon, and night pill container because I'm a huge believer in supplements. Yeah. Making sure, because I feel like food now is not what it used to be. Like we're not getting what we need from even our food.
Even stuff that's labeled organic.
Correct.
Still not getting what you need.
Who knows what that actually means? Yeah. We don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, it's expensive to invest in your health every month, but I feel like it's important.
100%. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I take supplements. I exercise, work out, try to eat right.
What do you do?
So I've saying I've been athletic all my life. I've worked out all my life.
That's probably why we're hurting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You think you're doing a good thing for your body?
And 100%. And when I had my son 3 years ago, all my attention turned to him. So I stopped. Like everything came to a grinding halt, and I just had to. When I stopped doing all that, I started feeling like shit. yet, and started gaining weight, and started feeling sad, and eating garbage, and not taking my supplements, and wondering why I was so bleh. And then snapped out of it, and started, and so he wakes up at like 6 a.m. every morning. So I set my alarm for 5 a.m. and I go, and I've got my weights in the basement, and I work out, and he goes to bed at 8 p.m. and at 8:30 I jump on my Peloton bike, and it's every day, no matter what. You know, I've got to force myself to eat right, you know. Force myself, I don't have to force myself, but I take my supplements and feel amazing, you know, even with the pain here and there, you know.
Good as you can feel. Exactly.
Like it was like a 180. And I did that because I realized, like, I have to do this for him. Like, first of all, he wants me to pick him up all the time. He's 40 pounds, and which is fine, but 40 pounds for, you know, 20 minutes here, and 5 minutes there, and 10 minutes there, and then, you know, up and down and up and down. And chasing him around, and you know, I have to do it for him. I have to be a healthy dad for him. Yeah. So
totally. Set a good example too. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all the things, like, your health comes first. Like, if you don't have that, like, you can't be your best, right? You can't deliver your best at what you want to do. And I started
looking better in the mirror. And I was like,
right? You're like, this is a nice little bonus.
Right. And that makes me feel better, too, you know? So,
yeah, man.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's tough.
It is tough.
It's tough.
It takes discipline.
Yeah, we just had the conversation last night. It was like, you know, you could work out for 16 years straight, then you take 2 months off and start eating anything. And then it looks like you never did anything in your life.
Exactly.
And it's like,
right. Yeah. I know. Like, before modeling gigs, I was doing something called EMS. Are you familiar with that?
Emergency medical services.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but not what I'm talking about. So they hook you up to, like, this wetsuit kind of thing, and it's like a bunch of electrodes, probably not explaining it great, and they basically shock all your muscles while you're working out without weights, like it's body weight, but it's supposed to be something like 20 minutes is equivalent to about like 2 hours of weightlifting or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
and I think
so it's
Bruce Lee used to do that or something.
Probably. I think a lot of people, like someone said the Kardashians. They're like, is that why you start? I'm like, no, I don't pay attention. I'm like, I just found this trainer lady by my work, and she's been great. And I was doing that a lot to prep for shoots because, you know, in modeling, it's like you want to feel like you look good too. It's not everything, but so, you know, that was a nice little boost, like supplement to going to the gym and doing yoga. And also people who have like injuries or certain chronic pain. I feel like I walked in one day and the lady before me was in a wheelchair, like doing it. So I was like, this stuff's incredible. Like, you can do it with, because I have to be careful with doing certain kind of weightlifting because I have like a neck back thing. And you're able to modify things so much and still get such a good workout in. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Good.
It hurts. I've tried it. She's got me to try it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it hurt. I couldn't go. Like, she was like cranked all the way up, and I was like, oh.
Electrocuted.
Yeah. I was like, this is painful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it works. Whatever works, all right.
I was going to say whatever works.
Whatever works.
Yeah. If it's working for you and you're seeing results, you're feeling results, do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Talking about everything here.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll wrap up soon, but is there anything we haven't touched on that you want to talk about?
Does anything come to mind for you? I'm trying to think.
We did talk about a lot.
We did talk about a lot.
This is cool. For my first experience, I gotta say, like, it's enjoyable. It's fun.
This
just to kind of, even just to get, just to chat. Like, sometimes, like,
of course,
just hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, it's
like this in itself.
Yeah.
I will say it's been my best podcast experience.
Well, good.
Far.
Glad I got to be a part of it.
Been on a few.
Yeah,
very cool.
I'm glad because honestly, I do this to first of all to hang out with my friends, to get to know people better. And the way that we conduct it is like, healing for me. You know,
Yeah.
it just feels
Absolutely.
nice just to have a good
Like,
conversations and connect with people.
Yes.
Exactly.
Other crazy creatives who understand you.
Yes.
It's got to be really cool because you never know what you're going to get, right? It's like maybe you have expectations going into something, just like with any photo shoot, any modeling gig,
Like
right?
before you shot with me.
You pretty much.
Is that what you're talking about? Like, what do you think?
I mean, anything.
Wanna
It's just
share?
like so cool. Like you develop all these like ideas in your head of how it's going to go, and then it just completely like is going somewhere else, and it's got to be pretty interesting to do that. How often do you do these?
We just published episode 11 or 12, I think.
Cool.
12.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then there's another one in the can.
Okay.
And then there's us.
And the bus.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
So,
Very cool, man.
thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for having us.
For sure,
It's
man.
been super
It was
fun.
awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Do I need to move this thing or?
That would help, right?
I'm not like
Good thing
super
you caught that.
experienced at
We were
this
just-
stuff. I was just wondering, you did all that work to get it like in a specific spot. I'm like, I mean, it's okay over there too.
Should I move the mic to pick up the voice? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Yes.
just
Thank you for catching
asking.
that. That
problem.
would have been embarrassing. It still is a little.
No, it's there's so many pieces to this stuff.
Right.